Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Mess. So, today I got a fun and exciting video for you guys today, because I'm playing Street Fighter III Third Strike on MiSTer FPGA, but I'm doing it in a very interesting and very creative means. It is not a full FPGA core, it is actually using the ARM processor within the Cyclone 5 chip to do a little bit of the heavy lifting, and then offloading some of the other actual functions to the FPGA. So really it is a hybrid core, half FPGA, half ARM code, and honestly you would never know the difference because this thing is absolutely working incredibly well. And I actually waited on this video because there was a 1.0 release, and no matter what I tried, no matter what Andy D, who helps me out, tried, we cannot get the thing running at full speed on either of our MiSTer FPGA capture setups. But now at the 0.20 release, it is 100% buttoned up, and you would 100% just think you were playing a full FPGA core for something like Street Fighter III Third Strike, and that is absolutely exciting. Before you get too far involved though, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, I got a Patreon link down below as well. Now obviously Jotego is still in development of his Capcom CPS III FPGA core, which would in the future bring us Third Strike, but he has stated that at least the original beta core, when it is ready, will only support the 64 megabyte games, which are going to be Red Earth and the original Street Fighter III. So in the meantime we have something like this, and this was developed by Kimchi Man 52, absolutely amazing username. One of my favorite foods in the world is kimchi jjigae. Kimchi stew just absolutely always does it for me. And this core, to be completely honest with you, it is absolutely flawless as far as I can tell. I've had no issues playing it and having fun with it. And if you're wondering, this is based on the Street Fighter III Third Strike Decomp project, which we've already talked about being ported over to PC as well as the PlayStation Portable. So this is part of that kind of nuclear family of Decomp based ports of Street Fighter III, and it really is an amazing thing to behold. And the reality is, obviously the Cyclone 5 chip on the MiSTer FPGA board, the Jurassic DE10 Nano, is quite long in the tooth at this point in time, but we still keep getting incredible cores out of that hardware. 3DO most recently, and Wicker Walker's working on an IGS PGM. So there is a ton of life in the actual FPGA chip on MiSTer, including being able to do a CPS III core, but in the meantime using the ARM processor to have a little fun and play around with one of the best fighting games of all time. 10 out of 10, absolutely love it, and twice on Sunday. But you leave me a comment down below and you tell me, have you tried this core out, and have you tried any of the hybrid cores before? There really aren't that many of them, but I feel like maybe in the future you will see more of them come over. And as far as the hybrid approach is concerned, some of the actual video and DAC has been offloaded over to the FPGA chip to allow the ARM a little bit more breathing room, for lack of a better term, because you basically had to win the silicon lottery and do a little bit of overclocking on the ARM to get this thing to run close to smoothly before this release. Now honestly, you don't have to do anything except load everything up, play the game, and have a fun time with it. And that really is a testament to how amazing these Decomp projects truly are. You're getting PC ports, you're getting PSP ports, and now you're getting MiSTer FPGA and ARM ports. And that really is something that is absolutely exciting to see. And when you get a game as good as Street Fighter III Third Strike in the mix, that is even better. And that really means that we're about ready to get almost every single 2D Street Fighter game ever made on MiSTer FPGA, because we have Street Fighter through all the way through the Alpha series on the Capcom CPS and CPS II cores. Jotego is working on the CPS III core, and in the meantime we have Third Strike available to play as well. That is absolutely amazing and something I love to see, and because this is based upon the Decomp project and that succeeding port that went over to PSP and PC, the quality here is absolutely excellent. Let's do a first of two soundtrack samples, because again, some of this is actually being offloaded to the FPGA chip, so go ahead and listen to the quality, listen to the music, and you leave me a comment down below and you tell me if you hear anything that doesn't sound like Third Strike. But the music is amazing, so go ahead and listen, and I'll be right back with a lot more fun.
Fighters ready. Engage.
mean, as far as the audio is concerned, it sounds exactly like Street Fighter III Third Strike to me, but you leave me a comment, you tell me if you hear anything that wouldn't be sounding appropriate to your ears. And as far as running this thing, it is now running at 800 megahertz, basically the stock speed of the ARM core within the Cyclone 5 chip. If you aren't aware, there's two different types of FPGA chips out there on the market, no matter what manufacturer they're from. Some of them are just going to be FPGA chips with the FPGA logic elements, and they're not going to have any sort of processor core on them. And something like the Cyclone 5, you actually have ARM cores on the FPGA die as a separate component, and you can run code off of those, and that happens quite frequently, MiSTer FPGA, because a lot of the actual OS stuff will be running on the ARM side, not the FPGA side, and that's what Third Strike here as a port is doing, except it's basically running the port on the ARM chip and then handing off some of the other associated tasks to the FPGA in and of itself. Stuff like some of the video, some of the DAC and audio, those can go through the FPGA, allowing the ARM to be able to more process efficiently the game code and make sure it runs smooth. But you can still overclock this if you so want to, but I don't really see a need to do it anymore. Just be aware that if you do want to OC it, you have to restart the core and go from there. And the best part is this is also going to output to a CRT television extremely well, because that is a new enhancement in this version. So you can sit around and play this on your CRT TV, you can sit around and play it on your PVM, even a 31 kHz VGA monitor, and have an absolutely spectacular kind of old school Street Fighter 3 experience on very modern hardware. Well, I say that, but honestly, the Triassic DE10 is not modern in any way, shape, or form now. It just kind of still feels modern because obviously FPGA gaming is quote-unquote new as far as retro gaming is concerned. But this is why retro gaming is making a comeback right now, and I say that because so many new people are getting into this stuff because they see some of their favorite games from back in the day recreated via Decomp, PC port, and now MiSTer FPGA ARM port, which is basically a new category, and I absolutely love stuff like that. There's going to be so many different filters you can put over the top of this thing, but at its base it is just Third Strike playing basically 100% accurately on MiSTer FPGA, and that is amazing. People just basically wanted one way to play Third Strike in 2026, and everyone was thinking Jotego would be there with the core, and he still will be, but in the meantime we have something like this. And I'm sure someone's going to go down below and comment, but this is basically against the ethos of what the MiSTer FPGA project is, and the reality is, and you need to remember, MiSTer FPGA really is whatever the developer working on it wants it to be. I have absolutely no issues whatsoever with using the ARM core to do stuff like this, and I don't think most people will either, but there's always somebody out there who's going to say, but actually, and just annoy the ever-loving hell out of me. And honestly, I've been a little spicy lately with those comments, so I figured I would keep it going. And big thanks to Andy D for helping with the capture on this one. Could use a little work on his parry, but honestly, a really strange and funny mini game included in Street Fighter 3, but it's always been a fun time. Let's go into the second soundtrack sample, so again, you can listen to the audio, the music, the sound effects, and everything else to get a good earful so you can see whether or not it sounds correctly. And I'll be back with a little bit more information, including how you can play this game today if you want to on your MiSTer FPGA. But enjoy, because the music really is that good. I mean, in playing this port and listening to it and interacting with it, there really isn't anything I could point to whatsoever that I would say is not working correctly. And even though it's not something I can quote-unquote show you in videos, and I am very show don't tell, I'm going to have to tell you this. As far as the control latency is concerned, pulling off moves in this version of the game feels every bit as natural as playing the arcade original or playing the PC port or the PSP port, which is to say there isn't any latency that's going to affect your ability to play Third Strike and pull moves off. And that really is the #1 criteria outside of the graphics and audio being correct in a port like this. If there's lag in the controls and you really can't hit those moves, then it really is pointless. And I can tell you right now safely that everything here is working exactly as expected. But again, I am not some sort of professional Third Strike player, so if you are a huge fan of the franchise in this game and you have a MiSTer FPGA, definitely let me know what you think down below. If you want to play this one, the link is in the description below to the GitHub, along with directions on how to set it up. Not really going to do any sort of tutorial on this one, I don't think, unless everyone absolutely fails at it. But trust me, the directions are easy, just pay attention, read them from start to finish, and you should be fine. But go play some Street Fighter 3 Third Strike on your MiSTer FPGA, have fun, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.